Good afternoon, everyone.
Amtrak.
Can you hear me? This is Sean Curran, the Economic Development Committee.
Oh, that's the decoration.
Yes. All right, thank you. And if we can just go around the horn there and introduce ourselves and we have in the bottom corner, your name is, sir? Jeff? Your screen name is Jeff?
Oh, yeah, Jeff with Fun City, Springfield.
Okay, and we have Marie Cozy. Hi, Marie, how are you? And Kathy Brown as well. So we commenced this meeting, we did from a request from several neighborhood members and constituents about capacity at the establishment of the Springfield Plaza. And there's been several incidents that were reported in regards to overcapacity at the establishment at the Springfield Plaza. So I'd like to talk to my colleague here, Councilor Mike Fenton, to provide a little background on this and to give us, the council and the subcommittee, a little more information on it.
Thank you. And thank you, Chairman Curran, for calling this meeting. As many who are participating will remember, a special permit was granted for the operation of the Fun City site last year. And subsequent to that, there was a certificate of occupancy that was issued. Since then, there's been a variety of public safety concerns that have come up. And I asked Chairman Curran to call this meeting for the purpose of deliberating on whether or not we want to take any negative action against the special permit or up to and including potential revocation for failure to comply with the terms of the city's ordinances and the conditions of the permit. So I know we have representatives of the planning department and code enforcement. I see Mike Yakum's here, as well as the Springfield Police Department. I have inquired with the police department and code enforcement regarding the violations. Most of them pertain, if not exclusively, to overcapacity. And it has created, at least on more than one occasion, a dangerous situation where there's been resulting violence and resulting circumstances where we had north of 600 people in the facility and overwhelmed the police department. So with your okay, Mr. Chairman, what I'd like to do is see if we can turn it over to the police department to say a little bit about, from Officer Lee, about some of the observations that he's made and the challenges that the police department's had with that site, and see if there's any other city staff that would like to weigh in after that before we go any further. Is that all right with you?
That makes sense, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Officer Lee, I'm with the ordinance unit for the Springfield Police Department. I can stand up.
Yeah.
The two biggest events were on 2/17 and 3/8 of this year. Both of those nights, the 2/17 did not have officers on, extra detail officers on site. And it took more than 12 officers and 3 supervisors to restore order for a very large fight. The max capacity posted on the wall at that time was 800. And the officers in their reports and in their body worn cameras show that at least. It was chaos. It took officers hours to not only restore order inside, but then the next 2 to 3 hours restoring order out in the parking lot as groups continue to fight, gather. The McDonald's at the location, the Stop and Shop were all calling because things were flaring up all over the place. It was a very chaotic, very dangerous situation and took police resources away from the rest of the city for multiple hours. The next was on 3/8, very similar. There were extra detail officers there. They were able to kind of quiet it inside quickly. But then again, outside, the groups gathered, continued their disputes. Officers responded. There was 13 officers and 2 supervisors on that night. Several hours of just chasing these groups in and out. Parents upset about what was going inside, confronting officers. Your staff's there. I have none of the reports ever say anything that they're not helping or helping, so I can't say anything about your staff there. I have heard reports from officers, they feel like they're understaffed, that there are not enough people inside being able to watch as big as the places you have. So these fights don't get to the level of that they're getting. The officers are up front, usually try to watch in the door, they'll take a walkthrough. But there has been some suggestion that there could be more on the floor watching something start up. Overall, there's also been multiple calls for larceny, for assaults, the disturbances, ambulance assist. So for calls for service in general, it's a drain on the department. We're continuously going there. We now have officers on the afternoon and the midnight, overnight shift. Each have to do 4 to 6 parking walks in that parking lot. So they have to put themselves in that parking lot, take away from the rest of the city of their patrol specifically just to keep an eye on that location. That's just kind of a preventative measure we're doing. But we'd like to be able to have officers patrol their entire area and not just, a good hour and a half between those details, stay right in the plaza. So a couple other things I thought about the setup. You have such an open space walking in the front door to your ticket booth. I don't know why there's not more of a way to lead them to the ticket booth where officers could say, kids are walking in, then just scattering once they get in the door. I think there could be a better setup going on inside, more supervision inside. I've been told by inside your property, it's 800. Then I was told it was 450. And now I was told this morning, your occupancy is 620. So I'm not really sure how to tell my detail officers what number to kind of feel like if they're getting close to ask the staff to stop. I would like some resolution on what the number of capacity is, have it posted on the wall. So every officer working that detail could say, oh, the max is this number, and then be able to kind of assess where there are. Because the more people there, the harder it is to contain and deal with. So those are some of the things that we're dealing with at the Springfield Police Department. As far as a public safety, it's not just Fun City, it's the neighborhood around it that are being affected.
And officer, what time of day was this?
The first event started at 7 and went to 9. There was 3 different events where it was like a small fight. The officers responded, then left, and then another fight at 8, and then finally a really, really big fight around 10. And the March 8th event, it jumped off around 8 o'clock. So it seems to be 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I know they close at 10:30, but the hours around 7 and 8 seem to be the problems.
And how old were the participants roughly?
Mostly juveniles. But again, once this happens on the February event, they closed it because it was just too chaotic. And you had reasonable parents saying, I just got here an hour ago and paid all this money and now you're closed. So there was other issues we have to deal with. And like I said, the Stop and Shop.
So ages 12 to 18, is that?
The age group?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the biggest issues because the 12-year-olds are unaccompanied. They're getting dropped off.
Mhm.
The 18-year-olds are causing the fight, but the 12-year-olds are causing officers like the smaller things they're having to deal with. They're out in the parking lot. They're not staying inside Fun City. There's been a variety of issues.
If I may,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair. Mike Yakum, what does the CO say for this site? What does the certificate of occupants say for a limit?
She just came in and they must have went to the building department, had an architect or an engineer redo it all. So they just recently went there and they boosted up their capacity to 621. So
Wow.
that number is the actual number. I believe the 800 that the officer saw when he first went in there was probably the capacity for the previous operation that was there.
But the prior CO that was originally issued, you said there was just a revised CO, but the original CO said less than 500, right? It was
Oh,
400.
yeah, I forgot the exact number and I don't have it in front of me, but they did just recently boost it up to 621.
So, Mr. Chair, this is my district. We've got Kathy Mossy and Mr. Roy here from the Hungry Hill Council, and we've got Kathy Brown and Ms. Koski here from the East Springfield Neighborhood Council. Obviously, this impacts us the most, but it is a city-wide issue, given the volume here. I mean, I want to hear from the permit holder, but my initial reaction is that we need to condition the special permit further to put in an occupancy limit that's substantially below the current activity in that site. But I do want to hear from the applicant unless you've got anything else you'd like to say.
No, absolutely.
So, right now, our major issue are the teenager. And I'm sorry that the officer have to deal with, you know, like, stuff like this. We have like other like parks like throughout the country. And some of the other park, we don't have to deal with like anything. Like we have like zero security guard and kids are well behaved. It's just like the city of Springfield is like one of the toughest location that we have. I mean, like, I know that as you can see that like this, like, this, like the crime rate is high and all that stuff. And I'm sorry that the officer have to deal, you know, with this. And I'm pretty sure that it's not only something that like the officer have to deal with, you know, like just inside the Fun City. I'm pretty sure that elsewhere. I know that if I go to Walmart or if I go to CVS, Family Dollar to buy like even like a toothpaste, toothbrush, I have to call like people in the front to unlock the thing for me to buy just like a toothbrush.
Yeah, Jeff, before you go any further with your pejorative comments, let me just say that if you think that you're going anywhere around this country and you're gonna put 800 teenagers in a room and you're not gonna have a problem, well,
Yeah,
then
no.
respectfully, before you disparage any further,
Yeah.
I think that generalization
Yeah.
is not an accurate reflection of the situation.
No.
Mr. Chairman, could I also please, just Mr. Chairman, I'd like Mr. Ward to identify himself. I see Mr. Ward. Mr. Ward,
Hello.
what is your role here, Mr. Ward?
I was just looking at it from behalf of the firefighters union. There were some inquiries that we might be able to assist if there was some kind of occupancy management.
Appreciate it very much. Thank you. So, okay, so Mr. Jeffrey, I'll let you continue, but I'm not going to sit here and listen to you say that the city of Springfield is the most dangerous place, that you got a fun city, and that you can just safely have 800 teenagers in a room.
No. That's
And I just don't want to hear, you gotta get a toothbrush out of a vault at a Walmart. That is not accurate. So.
No. There are fight, you know, that's like that's within our like our place, like we need to control it. I know that like that 800 number is high, and so we did like put in like certain policy, you know, after the fight to make sure that there's like zero, absolutely like no fight tolerated. So the capacity like went down, and also like another thing that we did is that like that the anyone who's like under age 18, they have to be like accompanied by like the parent. The parent cannot just drop them off and leave. That's against our policy. If the parent leave, like the kids have to leave too. So I feel like if the parent are there, like the kids will not like fight if the parent are there. So that's like a policy that we put into like the parent, they have to stay with the kids, so that there's like no further like incident. And also like we're getting like more like security. Right now we're in the process of getting like a new security guard company. Like the current company is getting bought out by another company. So we're trying to get like a different company so we can hire more security guard, because right now.
On that question, on your security plan,
Yes.
you didn't have details officers last weekend because you said you did have a security plan, so no officers were sent, but there was no security plan, so that was like an open weekend. Is that what we're looking again this weekend? And
So the security plan right now
I
like,
need it to be in place, or you need to go back to hiring the police officers to at least have some level of police there or security. This past weekend was an open weekend because with the understanding you gave us was your plan was in place. It was not. And now here we are on Thursday, and we're waiting. You're telling me it's not ready yet? Then I asked that police be hired for this weekend.
Yeah, so I did went into the city yesterday to give like the plan to the city attorney, and that's not the plan that they want. So right now, like I'm having like my attorney.
Well, then I would ask that you hire this weekend till it's resolved. This past weekend, you left the impression you had your plan in place. So this weekend, if it's not in place and you need more time, I fully understand that. I want it to be right and work for you.
Yeah,
But then hire this weekend, so there are security there. That's what I'm at.
yeah, I'll have the manager do that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So, Mr. Chair, I want to turn it back over to you because I know other people want to be heard, but I'll just conclude by saying I've been to the site. It's a clean site. I've taken my nephew there. It's a nice place. We appreciate the investment and the work that they've done. And I know that this ownership group is associated with the ownership of the plaza at large. So we appreciate the recent investment with a pickleball facility down the street at the former Savers location. There's other things that are happening that are good, but this site, it's way too many people. And we're hearing from the police department, security concerns. It's my strong opinion that we need to put a cap on the number of people. And, 800 isn't even in the ballpark of the discussion. I'm thinking much closer to 250 people, but I'll let others speak on it.
And also, sorry, this like another thing that I want to add. So back then, like before the fight, we had this like the all day ticket. So the kids can buy like the all day ticket. They can go there in the morning and they can come back at the nighttime. So right now we got rid of that all day ticket. The max time that they can stay is like 3 hours. Right now after we implement that policy, like there are like a lot less like teenagers that would hang out at our place. So only 3 hour max that they can stay. Past 3 hours, they have to go out.
All right, sir, we have hands up in the queue. We have Councilor Tracy Whitfield. Tracy? You're muted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Jeff, I have a question for you. Why did you change the security policy from hiring Springfield Police to your own security team?
So back then, like we always have like the security team, always, since we opened. And we thought that, with the, cause like February, so like our only business like with the Fun City is like February and March. The rest of like the 10 months are basically like dead. There's like nobody, especially with the Six Flags like maybe half an hour away from us. So we thought that like February and March, like maybe we can add some like police detail to help us like control the thing more to make everything safer.
Okay, so you just beat up security for a couple months. My niece actually got jumped at Fun City. I too go to Fun City. It is clean, and when the parents are there, it's pretty safe. But my nieces are teenagers, like 15 and 16, got dropped off, and they were actually involved in a fight there, and nobody broke it up. Nobody broke up the fight. It's recorded and everything. No one from your establishment came out to help, to break up the fight, to assist. I mean, these things can happen anywhere. Fights can happen at Six Flags. Fights can happen anywhere. But the fact that you have security that did nothing, didn't make me feel safe. I will feel safer if it's going to be like a busy time that Springfield Police are hired to be there, because this was a weekend. I don't know what season it was exactly, but it was warm. And it's probably going to be more people out when it is warm, and especially on the weekends. So I think like beefing up security at those times, is just the right thing to do. And I think that no one could do it better than Springfield Police. So that's just my feedback. I do like Fun City. I take my granddaughter there. Often we have a good time. Since I've been there, there hasn't been any altercations. Sometimes I do drive by there going to other stores, and there's a few kids hanging outside here and there, but not normally. And I go to the plaza quite a bit. That's not a normal occurrence, but I think that it would be more beneficial to have Springfield Police there in the busy season, in the busy time. And as far as capacity goes, what is the capacity of people that can be? Phil, I don't know if you know that.
Well,
again, I went down to Steve Desolate this morning to ask him. I was actually hoping he would be here today, but he had another meeting. And so I was provided, as Mike mentioned, with documentation that they've been issued a CO for an occupant load of 621. So I obviously have not been involved with that, so I don't know how that
What's
was,
the CO?
but that's
What's the CO?
the certificate of occupancy. So
Oh, certificate of occupancy. Okay, for 621.
that's what's listed on the certificate of occupancy.
And do you all have a counter, Jeff? Like you count when the people come in and when they leave and things like that? So you know how many people you have in there? Because I've walked in there many times. I'm just telling the truth. I've walked in there and nobody stopped me. I didn't have on a bracelet and nobody stopped me. And I went right over to the table where I was going to the birthday party. And that was very dangerous. I could be anybody. And nobody stopped me. Nobody directed me to the counter. Nobody asked me what party I was with. I just walked in and went to the party.
Or is it the weekend or the weekday?
It was a weekend because I know it was a birthday party. So it was definitely a weekend. But the fact that I could just walk in there and not get stopped and not have on the wrist bracelet, like I was like, what's going on here? This is safety concerns. Like anybody could do this. Not that I'm there to be danger, but I would never leave anybody there without
If you
staying.
have, like, if you walk into like a fun city, like so
Mhm.
back then it's just kind of like an open space, right? Like
Yeah, open space. Yeah.
go in, right?
Mhm.
But like we we found that it didn't work. So you see, like we have the rope with the stand thing.
Oh, okay.
If you walk in right now, the first place that you have to go to is the counter, because if you were to go left, like it's blocked by the stand with the rope.
Okay. Yeah, that was prior to the rope. I haven't been in there
Okay.
since you got the rope thing there, but I went in there prior to the rope and I was able to walk right in and up to kids and all that, and nobody stopped me and I didn't have on a bracelet. So I'm glad that you do have the rope. I'm gonna probably go there today and just to see, because it's like 5 minutes away, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I would feel more comfortable if Springfield Police was there on busy days.
Yeah, and also like we want like our parent, we want grandparent to feel like comfortable, because like if they're not feeling comfortable because of the fight, I mean like they're not gonna come, just like after the fight, like our business like got cut in half, like there are like barely anybody there, and
Yeah.
and on the weekday, like from Monday to Thursday, our average like people who come to the park is about, I would say like anywhere from 40 to 100 people like throughout the day. That's how many customers we have. We have like weekday, it's like dead. It's like they are like nobody. The only business that we do is basically like Saturday. Saturday is the only day that we do business, and Sunday is more of like a half a day. And we do get it. Like our top priority right now is to get like a lot more like security, so that thing like don't happen no more, sorry that
Somebody should actually be standing at the door, guiding people to where they need to go and making sure that they're going that way. Because I just felt really weird about that. And I'm like, if I could just walk in, they can, but I'm glad that you have seen that wasn't working and you got the rope there now. So I'm gonna check it out. And just like have somebody at the door, because people should not just be able to walk in like that. So that's my final comment. I'm glad that you are taking the steps to make it safer though.
and also that where the rope is, like on the weekend, there's a security officer like just standing at that section, like directing people where to go. Oh, you want ticket, you go to the counter, you party, right, you go there and then you turn left and all that stuff. Yes.
Okay, we have Victor Davila, your hand up there, Victor.
Thank you, Sean. Good afternoon to everybody. Jeff, good afternoon. Listen, Jeff, I'm going to be honest with you. I remember when you came to the council, we gave you the permit, and I remember how excited I was. But I'm going to be honest with you, my good sir, all that excitement just got deflated from what I'm hearing. I'm very alarmed by everything that I have heard. Mr. Chair, I don't think I have heard an answer, but what's the actual capacity as of today limit they have?
I believe 631 is that the number that I heard?
621.
620.
Okay, and in the day in question, how many people are we estimating were there?
850.
850. Okay, and Phil, who actually issues the CO?
Well,
See,
Counselor Davila, if I may, I just want to clarify, at the time that there were that many people there, the CO only allowed for 450 people at that time. They've since requested a revised CO for more people, but at the time they had over 800, their CO only allowed for 450.
thank you. The revised CO of the increase, has that been approved or no?
Yes, yeah.
It was approved, okay.
The building department, the inspector from the building department has gone out and issued a certificate of occupancy.
So it's the building department who
Yes,
issues the
yes, the
okay.
building department is the one who issues the CO.
Okay, all right. Jeff, so I got so many questions for you, but let me talk about the safety plan for a second. Before I ask you, to the officer on the chambers, did he submit a revised plan? I think I heard you say something about he has not submitted a revised plan for security plan.
According to my command staff, this past weekend, there was no details hired because the understanding was he had a new security plan, was gonna hire an outside agency, it was gonna be on scene. And we said, that's fine if you're hiring and increasing staff, security, everything, but it didn't happen.
It didn't
So-
happen, okay.
And we're in limbo today, I guess Jeff said. They're submitted a plan, it wasn't approved. So my concern again is for this weekend, that if there's no plan in place, then we-
Right.
the officers and he gets his plan in place. If it gets approved, he can engage it.
Right, and so with the day in question, how many, did the fight break inside, outside? How many arrests were made?
The original event in February, the event started inside. There were small fights and then a large fight when someone screamed gun. And it caused a mass confusion with you had parents with young children, you had officers trying to rush in,
Right.
a wave of people. You had the people that were fighting, breaking off into groups and still fighting when they got outside. There was a lot of chaos, but all of our officers say over 800. I viewed some body camera. It is a sea of people. It is a lot of chaos.
So how many arrests were made, if you know?
On that night, I don't believe any. On the March one, there was one.
If you could, I would love to see a history of arrests made at the location or.
In the past, I can only go back for 25, so in the last 3 months.
That's
just
fine.
in March. Another issue big for Jeff, there's so many larceny calls. For your place, people have to take off their cell phones and their sneakers and everything else. You have no secure place to put them. Parents are calling our department all the time.
We do.
Well, things are.
So if I may, yeah,
we-
excuse me, if I may, Mr. Chair. I still have the floor, if I could.
If actually, 1 second, if Jeff could answer the officer's question.
About the larceny.
Sure, without objection, yeah.
Okay, so we do have a locker that customer can put inside and they can lock it. It's called VIP lockers. We do have that.
Is that a payment thing and people are just choosing not to
Payment
use?
thing.
Okay, then maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, Mr. Chair, I'm going to, because I'm sure there's a lot of questions, so I'm going to ask one more question. So, Jeff, so in this short period of time, it appears to me there's a tendency of fights breaking out, of larceny breaking out. Jeff, you have a problem.
I do, yes.
You have a big problem. Let me ask you this. Councilor Whitfield said that people can just walk in, right? Now, I've never been in your facility, but I will be going to your facility. So when a kid and minor has to go with a parent to go in, correct?
Yes.
So what about 18, 19, 20-year-old, 17-year-old, technically a minor? Do they get searched at all? Do you have, so they just walk in for, just like that? Okay. Why is that?
I don't think we have the right to search, like, you mean like to search their pocket, bodies and all that stuff?
Yeah, making sure that there's no weapons that come in, because in my mind, Jeff, if you had what I think the office is describing and mailing in your facility,
Yeah.
was to say they're not gonna pull a gun or a knife in there, for God's sakes. You know, I'm very concerned. I'm extremely concerned, Jeff. So I give you a quick chance to answer that question.
Why, like, why we don't search them?
Or have some sort of security screen, to ensure, to enhance the safety inside.
Uh, I I I don't really know like why we don't. So it's like people bringing their family to Six Flags and every single one of them gets searched by like the staff. Is that what? Is that
I
what?
don't think that's a fair comparison. You're by no means are you Six Flags, and in fact, they do. You know, they do have security at Six Flags, and they do check from time to time. They do checks at Six Flags. I've seen it myself. Okay, and so Jeff, I'm very concerned. Thank you, Jeff. Mr. Chair, if I may, I don't know where we're going with this. I'm very concerned. I know I heard something about doing some sort of a revision, amendment on the permit to allow for, I think Councilor Fenton said 200 or so. I'm not confident for this weekend at all. So what I'm thinking, I'm going to be honest with you, I hate to say it, we should consider just temporarily closing the place until he submits an appropriate safety plan. I'm very concerned. Next week's going to be in the 60s. I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of faith in what I'm hearing today. So I will consider temporarily closing you until you figure everything out, because you are going to have a major incident in your place, my friend. I can see it coming a mile away. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Those are my words.
Thank you, Victor. I see Marie Koski on the line. Marie, if you have any comments, if you don't, that's okay. Just, you're okay. Okay, thank you. And we have Kathy Brown, if you have any comments. Thank you, Kathy. We have Miss Mossy.
The only question I have is like, when they come in the front door, the parents come with them, and then what happens? They drop the kid off and they walk out the door. You're not monitoring that?
So no, we are right now that the parent, they have to stay with the kids. They cannot just walk out. If they walk out, the kids have to walk out too.
That happens now? Did this happen before the incident?
No, but it's like now's the policy. Like if the kids stay and the parent have to stay. The parent leave, the kids gotta leave too. They have to leave. Because we don't want like any further incident.
Right.
Mr. Roy, if you have anything?
No, go on.
I just had a question, and I should have asked earlier, but to maybe to Phil and to Jeff as well. I mean, what is the training you have for like fire, an incident regarding fire? If you have 800 people in there, what is the layout for evacuation? And is your staff trained in a fire drill with that many juveniles in your facility?
I'm
In terms
not.
of fire, do you have any guidelines, or how do you train your staff in that regard?
I'm not aware of that. Like that I need to ask my attorney. Like,
Okay. And Phil, could you give us, we just had Brian there on the line, but I don't know if you have any insight into like the exits, or if they're double doors. I mean, 800 people. I mean, how many doors are into this facility?
I'd have to, again, I can only defer to what the building inspector has provided, which is a certificate of occupancy, which I'm assuming, you know, they've got the exit for the number of the capacity. I can't.
They're well lit. The lights are above there, even in the dark. He's got the flashing light and stuff like that. The exits are, the facility's clean. It's got all the markings, it's got all the signage. I would like to bring up, Jeff, about the bags. If you were interested, I would speak to your attorney. As long as you have it posted at the door, random checks of large bags, that's not a bad idea for you. I think any safety planning you do and simple as signage and allows your security that if they have any concerns, before they ever enter your property, if it's clearly posted, you have the authority to check. The person doesn't want their bag checked, they don't have to come in. They can go put their bag back, whatever they want. But if you have it posted, it might not be a bad thing to talk to your attorney about your safety plan. Just one thing to add.
Oh.
Just a suggestion. I'm not saying you have to, but it's not a bad thing to have.
That's very good suggestion.
Mass Mutual Center has it, it's clearly posted, and they check them, and it helps a ton. Some people have things they shouldn't have, we ask them to leave, and that's great, but as long as you have it posted, speak to your attorney. It's just one more layer of security. Someone has something in their bag, and just seeing that sign, they might go back to their car, and nothing ever happens. Just having the sign is a great deterrent.
Yeah, it's just like at the same time, just like we don't want to like violate like any people's like right to like to
You have a private property, if it's clearly posted, they have a right to come in or not come in. You can't just check their bag, but if it's posted, you can point to the sign, put up a couple signs, you have every right to check.
That's right.
okay. Just
The
like
signs- The signs alone, I think, are a great deterrent on the big glass doors you have. Random checks of bags are allowed, or whatever your attorney thinks the best language is. And
Yeah.
then train your staff that if someone's because you could have someone that's being disruptive and they have a bag, right in the middle of disruption, you could say, we're gonna check your bag. You'll still people stop their fighting and walk out the door. And that's really all you're looking to do is stop the disruption. And if the person is willing to leave on their own, based on whatever security policy you have, let them walk out the door and they're out. I just think it's a great one tool to have.
And plus is like coming from like recommendation like you like the law enforcement, like because you guys know a lot better than we do, like we're like the business people. We're not like this is not something that we deal with like that, like like that often. And like we do we do take like all those like suggestions like seriously, like we do want to make the place like the safest, because like
That also gives the law enforcement a piece of tool too. If we're inside with someone who's being disruptive, we could turn to your staff and say, we'd like to check their bag. Your staff, if it's clearly posted, can check that bag. It gives, we can't, because like you said, there's rights. We have to follow the rules all the time. But if your staff has that permission, it's posted, and they've agreed to enter your business and paid, you can check. I just think it's a one great tool to have. Please speak to your attorney about getting some signage. If he says it's a good idea, I'd go forward.
We'll add that. And I also want to add like some of the sign, like those like the ski mask that like sometimes the little kids put on their face. If you come in with like the front door with the ski mask, like you'll be out. Like we'll kick you out.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Every one of those policies will help. That's a good one.
Yeah.
If I could, Jeff, how many staff do you have on premises
On a busy Saturday.
on Saturday?
Busy Saturday, about 40.
40?
Yeah, 40 plus. Yeah.
40 plus staff at the facility?
Yes.
Okay. So that we have some useful, constructive results that come out of this meeting. And I think we heard from the officer here that he would like to see at least more officers called.
This weekend. If he gets a
weekend.
safety plan the city approves and everybody's okay with his new plan, but right now, he said there was a plan last weekend, there was not, no detail officer. And he just said in this meeting, one was just sent back today, not approved. Doesn't look like it's gonna be ready for tomorrow.
And how many officers would you?
Two. They've been doing two for about the last 2 months.
So does that sound amenable to you, Jeff? The
Yeah.
officer? So today's Thursday, you'd have to have them on Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Two
Yes.
officers?
It sounds good. Yeah. Like two officers for Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. And then secondly, Councilor Fenton, City Council President Mike Fenton has suggested discussion of occupancy limits. And that does not sound unreasonable. How would we, Mike, you want to give us any suggestions? What do you think we want to do there?
Well, I think, first of all, thank you, Chairman Curran and Jeff and Officer Lee, I think getting the two officers on this weekend is critical. So if you do that, then that is a good step in the right direction. Moving forward, I personally, as a member of the city council that were responsible for issuing this special permit, I would like to see new conditions added to this permit that reflect a safety plan, that reflect that a safety plan will be approved by the law department and be a condition of the special permit. And that'll give plenty of time for the law department and Jeff to work that out, and we can make that a condition of the permit. And the second thing that I think is the most obvious is putting a cap on the number of individuals in the place. I mean, it is a nice place. It is a fun place during the weekdays. It's a totally different environment clearly than the weekend. But I can't think of a place in Springfield where we would have 800 very minimally supervised minors in one place at one time. And I'm really uncomfortable with the numbers that we're talking about. So I know I said 250 earlier. I don't know if that's right, wrong, but I don't know if it's higher, if it's low, but I guess I would put up for discussion how we come up with a more appropriate cap, but I am completely uncomfortable with the 621. I know why the building department did it. You've got building department standards and you don't have discretion, but we do, the city council does, and we can put an occupancy limit on that place that is far less than that number. And, you know, I'm not in the industry. I'm not a public safety professional either. So I don't know what the right number is. So I'm just using my gut here, but I would like to ask that as a result of this meeting for a next step, Phil, if we could work with the law department and me and put on the agenda for our next hearings meeting, a revision to the conditions of the special permit for discussion with the city council. And then we specifically talk about adding a condition relative to the safety plan and adding a condition to put in a limit on the number of occupants. And maybe between now and then, we got about a month, we can get some data and maybe get some proposals from Jeff about what he thinks is a fair number. But, you know, you're never gonna convince me that having 500 minors in that place is gonna be okay unless you agree to some other compromise conditions. For example, you know, I would want to see metal detectors. I would want to see bag searches. I would want to see all sorts of other procedures in a safety plan before we even approached a number close to 500. If it gets closer to 250, I mean, we'd have to consult with our advisors in the police department, but to me, that feels like a much more reasonable and manageable number for your staff and for law enforcement. So in summary, what I would propose to take from this is that we put on the next hearings meeting an agenda item to discuss adding conditions that specifically relate to a safety plan and occupancy limits, and then we discuss that with the whole group.
And one further condition, Jeff, that we learned in this hearing is, I think there needs to be some kind of fire prevention safety plan as well. I mean, when you have 800 kids, if there's a fire in the facility, I mean, that the staff has to be trained in some capacity to deal with that. And perhaps, Phil, the fire chief should be notified, and we kind of look at that aspect of this as well, because that's a lot of juveniles in one place if a fire did break out. Okay, well, I think we covered some good ground. And Victor, you have one quick question before we?
Yeah, actually, I was going to mention the same thing, Mr. Chair, that I would love to hear the fire opinion with regards to the occupancy of the place before we set a number.
Thank you.
But definitely should be substantially less from what it is now. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, we covered some, oh, I'm sorry.
I just have one question more, is how do you count the number of people coming in through your door? Do you have a process?
Computer.
What?
It's in the computer count, like the ticket count.
Ticket sales?
Yeah, ticket sale, yeah. It's inside the ticket like sales, yes. And then you know, after that thing, the 3 hour limit, like our number is dramatically down. Like it's it's down a lot. Cause like the kids, they have to go out. We like, after 3 hours, we announce it on the is it the teleprompter thing? And then like, so our staff will look for like wristband, like, so we designate like different colors to different times. So like, the staff will keep an eye out, you know, for like certain color, and all that kids with a certain color wristband, they have to be out. And
Can they
then,
buy another 3 hours or is that it? They're out?
they close to like 0% will buy like another 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like it's not something that's cheap. It's like $30 like for
I've seen your prices, yeah.
yeah. And then and also, you know, like so we did, you know, like take a leap of faith, you know, in this like city, you know, like fun city, you know, like, for buying, you know, first thing is like buying the plaza, you know, like all like before we bought it, the plaza was all like vacant, you know, and all that stuff, and we try to improve it, you know, like to put this like place inside so the kids can have fun. Because right now in Springfield, there's no like place like that. Our goal is to never create like fight, you know, incident like this. We never foresee that kind of incident, and that's why also like we just like, you know, submit plan to put the pickleball, you know, where we try to make, you know, like our city better, you know, like and safe, you know, like we invest a lot of money into the city, a lot, you know, and our goal is, you know, like to make the community better, safer, and everything. That's our top goal.
Okay, thank you for everyone. I thought we covered some good ground, and thank you to Mike Fenton, City Councilor Mike Fenton, for bringing this to the council's attention, and to the officers of the Springfield Police Department for having to deal with this. And we're going to keep working on this in the next couple of weeks. We'll be in conversations with you, Phil, and as well as the fire department. And that would conclude this meeting. Thanks for everyone's attendance, and let's together perhaps solve this problem here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I have one question. So
yeah, quickly.
we have on our next meeting, can my attorney be like on it too?
Yes,
Of course.
yeah.
Okay, it's just like we need the link, right, for him to be on it, right?
Yes, I encourage your attorney to contact the city officials, planning, law department, fire department, police department, as soon as he can. We'll resolve this and get this moving amicably. Thank you.
Okay, all right, yeah, and I'm still waiting for the city attorney to send me what he wants for the security plan, so I can forward it to my attorney, because he's waiting on that. I haven't get it from him yet.
Well, the number one thing would be to contact the police department and set up those officers. That would be for tomorrow. So
Okay.
that's number one. You don't need a security plan for that. And then we'll make sure, I'll email the law department to get in contact with you. All right, sir?
Okay, thank you.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.